Welcome to another episode of The Savvy Entrepreneur. Today we'll be speaking with Adina Collins, the CEO of Fortitude Financial Consulting. Adina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So Adina, can you please share your background with us a little bit and talk to us about how that's important to our current situation?
Sure. I'm, again, the CEO of Fortitude Financial Consulting. I have approximately 20 years experience working in accounting, finance, budgeting, and financial analysis. And so I launched my business 2 years ago here in Frisco, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas. And it is extremely critical as a business owner and also as an entrepreneur that people are aware of the different options that are available to them. Although COVID-19 has definitely impacted people across the world and certainly within our country, I just wanted to be able to give you hope that we can definitely get our businesses back in operating, and also just wanted to be able to give you some great resources that can help you to be able to keep moving.
That sounds awesome. Thank you so much. So can you tell us about how a pre-revenue startup could benefit from the programs that are available today?
Absolutely. The great thing is that there are currently 2 SBA loans available, and SBA is the Small Business Administration. There are 2 loans that are available. One is credit-based, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And the great thing is that even if you were just in business as of January 31st, 2020, you are eligible to apply for that loan. And it is indeed credit-based. The other loan is the Paycheck Protection Program. And if you were in business as of February 15th of 2020, you were eligible to be able to apply for funds for that program as well. So again, startups should not fear anything about that. The great thing is that a lot of people do launch businesses at the beginning of the year. And so if you are definitely in that number, you are definitely eligible to be able to apply and to be able to get great funding to help you to continue doing your business operation.
Great. So if I was a business that wanted to apply, what kind of documents would I need to prepare prior to applying?
I would definitely recommend that if you are a newer business and say you just ended up launching your business as of last year, please make sure that you go ahead and complete your 2019 federal tax return. If you don't have that tax return available right now, you can actually do a profit and loss statement through the end of the year. And so you definitely want to have that in place, as well as a current profit and loss statement from January 1st of 2020 to whatever the current date is that you're going to apply for funding. You also want to make sure that you have a schedule of any of your business liabilities. And what I mean by that is the SBA is going to be looking for specifically a listing of any larger debts that you have on fixed debts, if you will. So perhaps maybe you borrowed to be able to finance a certain amount of inventory, or perhaps you borrowed to be able to finance a certain type of heavy-duty machinery, or for even your cars or even vans that you may use for your business. You're going to want to see that. Perhaps you also ended up doing a mortgage for your business, your brick-and-mortar business. You definitely want to make sure that you have that listing available. The other thing that you want to have available too is you want to make sure that you do have a budget projection. So you need to be able to know that you have a certain amount of sales that you are projecting for the year. And if at all possible, if you can break that down by month. So again, no one's going to come behind you and double check to make sure that, this particular figure jives. But again, something that's reasonable based upon what you anticipated being able to make throughout the end of 2020, as well as any expenses that you anticipated having. So just be mindful of things such as rent. Perhaps you had commercial liability insurance. Maybe you had your phone and internet type of costs, things like that, any type of operating cost that it would have cost you to be able to do business and be in business. So you definitely want to have those types of documents available. Even though you may not have your business tax return done yet, please get ready to go ahead and do it. And the reason why I say that is because the SBA requires you to give them consent that they can pull your tax So you want to be in a situation where you don't have it available at some point in time, and then that ends up holding up your application. So just make sure that you're aware of that. But if you only started your business last year, make sure that you have the 2019 tax data available. If you've been in business for a couple of years, please make sure that you do have your 2017, 2018, and 2019 tax returns done, because they may be going back that far. So just keep that in mind.
So what are these people looking for in these documents?
One, they want to, first of all, make sure that you are indeed a legitimate business. And so you definitely want to have a separate tax ID number for that business. If you are indeed a sole proprietor, sometimes people just use their own individual social security number, but they want to be able to see that, one, you do operate a business, that you do have expenses, and that you do also have sales. It's okay if you are showing a loss. But again, this is helping to be able to legitimize that your business is indeed valid and that it's real. And so again, they want to be able to see that you are also keeping decent records of your business. They're not necessarily digging into your financial system, but it is one way for you to be able to establish and show that, hey, my business was doing something. It was gearing up towards doing more business. So
very important. So let's talk about businesses that were already running and maybe have cash flows and some employees. Can you break down the differences between, like the game theory between going for the PPP program and just laying off your employees?
Well, we know that, of course, cash flow, most businesses typically only have maybe 27 days of cash on hand to be able to operate. And we know that since COVID-19, in many cases, individual states were shut down at least 2 or 2.5 weeks ago. We know that now we're probably into maybe only 13 days of working capital, working cash on hand. If you don't have to lay off your employees, try not to do that. This is the perfect opportunity for you to be able to apply for loan funding, if at all possible. Perhaps maybe you can even approach your bank in reference to a line of credit that could assist you with being able to kind of bridge not having to lay off your people. The Paycheck Protection Program, which is one of the SBA loan programs available, is actually very helpful to you because it's helping you to be able to do an estimate of about 2.5 times of what your monthly payroll costs would be. It's helping you to be able to get those costs funded, as well as help you to be able to fund, rent and mortgage and utilities. And so the thing is that you may be able to get up to a $10,000 emergency grant. I know that seems like it's a smaller amount of money, but it could help to fund some of those payroll costs. And the good thing is that you may be able to not have to pay that loan back, especially if you're able to go ahead and use those funds within 8 weeks and still be able to maintain your payroll. So, I know it's a hard decision, but whatever you can do to try to keep as many people as you can on the payroll. We understand that sometimes things just don't work out, but don't make layoffs the first decision, if at all possible, and start getting your application in process. So hopefully you can continue to retain.
Absolutely. So I know there was some confusion about what programs need to be applied to via your lender and what programs can be applied to through the SBA website. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. The first type of SBA loan program which is available is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. This is credit based, and you are actually going through the SBA website to go ahead and get approved for that particular program. The second one, which is the Paycheck Protection Program, or Triple P for short. This is the actual program where you are actually applying through the SBA loan, the disaster loan program site, but you are actually working in conjunction with local lenders on that. So those local lenders will be responsible for reviewing the documents as well as dispersing the loans to you. So right at least as of last Friday, there were about 1,800 lenders that were working with SBA loan applicants on that particular process. So
great. Are there any other restrictions? I think that you have to have had banking relationships with that lender for a period of time.
Yes, in fact, I had a client, it's great that you bring this up, Tallis. I had a client that contacted me last night, and they mentioned to me that they had gone ahead and gone through the application program, but because he wasn't an account holder with that individual bank, that bank said that they were not going to go ahead and work with him. So it's very important that you go ahead and log on to the SBA website, which is sba.gov. So sba.gov, and if you go to the disaster loan site, then you will actually be able to see a listing of the participating lenders, at least as of today. And hopefully that will be able to help you to be able to do that. Now, what you may want to keep in mind is that there may be some local community banks that still may work with you with that program, and so they may be a little more flexible than some of the other larger banks.
Great tip. That's really important. So are there any types of individual government assistance programs that you want to talk about?
Yes, as part of the CARE Act included the economic stimulus payments, which would be direct payments to individuals. And so if you are an individual, perhaps you're single, and you made up to $75,000, the great thing is that you can actually get $1,200 via direct deposit from the U.S. government. If you made above 75,000 but below 99,000, you can still get a piece of the economic stimulus package. However, it won't be the full $1,200. Now, if you're married and you're filing jointly, the great thing is that the cutoff is actually much larger. So as a couple, if you had combined income of $150,000, then you could actually get $2,400 in economic stimulus payments. And if you happen to have children, whether you're single or married, if the child is 17 years or younger, then you can get $500 per child back. So, that is definitely going to be quite helpful to people. On the married filing jointly, if you made over $175,000, then the amount would begin to phase out for you, or it would be definitely less than that. And so this is contingent upon you filing your tax returns. So if you have filed your 2018 federal tax returns, and if you happen to receive a refund, then the great thing is that you already have your direct deposit information in the system. If you don't, now is a perfect time for you to go to the IRS website, which is www.irs.gov, and you can click on the COVID-19 or coronavirus web section, and they'll give you actually a link where you can go ahead and sign for direct deposit. If you don't do this, you can still get the monies, but the government will probably take about 4 to 5 months to be able to cut a paper check, and most people cannot afford to wait that long. So I would definitely advise you to go ahead and make sure that those tax returns are done, and also that you've gone ahead and entered your information into the system. One other thing that I wanted to mention, Tallis, is that if you are a Social Security recipient, or perhaps you receive Social Security disability, the great thing is that you don't have to do any extra steps, because you already are in an automated system, and it's my understanding that 100% of those monthly checks are dispersed by a direct deposit anyway. So you could still go ahead and get those funds direct deposit without having to do anything extra. It would just come to your normal bank account where those individual benefits are already received.
Great, Adina, I appreciate it. So if any of our audience members have any further questions or want more resources from you, are there online resources that you have available to the public?
Well, actually, you can go to my website, which is www.fortitude.com. So it's FORTITUDEFINC.com. You can definitely contact me there. Also, my company, Fortitude Financial Consulting, is also on various social media channels, including Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We also have a YouTube channel as well. And so we do have quite a few different recordings that are on there. And then also you can feel free to reach out to me directly, and I will definitely answer any of your messages from there as well.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. I appreciate your time today. And that's it for another episode of The Savvy Entrepreneur. I hope that you guys all take these programs seriously and they can help you and your business. Thank you again and have a great day. And to our audience, stay savvy.